Well, this is Jared with Stampede Blue. This is your Indianapolis Colts post-game wrap, and your Colts lost today on the road to the Jacksonville Jaguars in the final score 6-0. It's like a baseball score. The Colts lost today because they didn't score touchdowns. Shocker. The Colts lost today because this was a game of unknowns. I knew that this was going to be an ugly game. I think anybody that you know that knew about what was going to happen in this game knew that it was going to be ugly, and it was a crapper. The Jaguars had just fired their offensive coordinator. They demoted Blake Bortles for Cody Kessler, an unknown entity, right? Really, not a lot of time in the NFL. Blake Bortles actually been pretty good against the Colts, so I was kind of like I was relieved. Cody Kessler's not got our number. But he was 18 for 24 for 150 yards and made several plays with his feet, and the Colts left him unaccounted for as a runner. Should also tell you the Colts need more help on defense. The draft will be helpful there. And in my opinion, a day like today when you play a top-tier defense in the NFL, that Jacksonville defense is bought and paid for, and we won't see a shade of that next year, right? But that defense was able to limit the effectiveness of T.Y. Hilton and Eric Ebron. Even though those guys caught a bunch of balls, they didn't do a lot with it after. They were covered. And Andrew Luck was throwing to guys that were covered today. The run game was ineffective. In my opinion, either Marlon Mack is injured or he's not who he thought he was. Plain and simple. Done talking about that. He's either injured or he's not that good. And that he'll do good against bad defenses, but against real good defenses, the Colts have no running game. They did not run the ball, but two times, Andrew Luck ran the ball and they handed the ball off to Mack after 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Obviously, the run game does not work because they're very quick to abandon it when they get behind and have to score. It is not incorporated into their offense yet. That should tell you everything. And when Andrew Luck is 33 for 52, which is like 63.8% completion percentage, and averages 4.8 yards per attempt, that tells you exactly what you need to know. The Colts need more skill players. They need skill players. They need more good players on their team. How that's going to happen, I'm unsure. It's pretty clear the Colts are going to build through the draft. I'm excited about that. I've been thinking about that since week one. All I've been thinking about is, man, this upcoming draft is exciting. The Colts are going to get better and present a product that's able to score touchdowns in every NFL game that it plays, regardless of the defense, because as long as you shut down T.Y. Hilton and as long as you body Eric Ebron every time he catches the ball, you put a hat on him, the Colts can't move the football. Colts can't score the football. I mean, obviously today was going to be a nightmare day, right? And the Colts defense showed up to play today, for the record. Only allowed 6 points. Even though we lost, that's awesome. That's really good. Cody Kessler, not very effective again. Did make some plays with his feet, which was an unknown entity. And then they were disruptive along the defensive front, right? Jabal Sheard looked very disruptive. Denico Autry had 3 sacks, solidifying Chris Ballard's genius, right? And then your linebackers, your Anthony Walker and your Darius Leonard, that's 17 tackles between them. Pierre Desir had 8 tackles, the veteran cornerback. And, you know, guys on defense came to play today, and it showed. They basically turned this into a punt fest. But, yeah, I think that the Colts are still a year away from being that finished product on the field that is something that wins even when they cover your number 1 receiver. I think that we can all agree the Colts need Jack Doyle back. Otherwise, you're trotting out Joe Haeg to see if he can make something happen, if we can stymie the defensive front. And we all know that we're not going to see that same defense at Jacksonville next year. Some of those pieces are going away. But everything to play for today, that win belongs solidly in Jacksonville's hands. The Colts weren't like out-coached. They just lost. Like, you just failed to do what you're supposed to. Like, how many times did they have the ball in the red zone and not get anything out of it? Like, how many times do you expect to get into the end zone in a football game, or get into the red zone, in a football game, and not score a touchdown? Andrew Luck is still Andrew Luck. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Top 5, fight me. But occasionally he's going to have a down week, and he's going to need a big play out of the defense, a defensive score, a special teams score. He's going to need the running game to carry him. He's going to need more help in order to overcome strong defenses to present a varied look. I thought that the play calling was kind of middle of the ground today, and that's kind of telling. Frank Reich is a first-year NFL head coach and a play caller. He's got a lot on his plate, and they'll get better. That's the whole point of playing these games, right? This game on paper did not look like it even needed to be played. We could have showed up, shook hands in a parking lot, and gone home and just, I don't know, had a dance-off in the stadium or something, right? But you got to play the game on the field, and the game on the field was the Colts are an above-average defense and an above-average offense, but even above-average defenses give up some points, but your above-average offense can't throw up a goose egg, can't not score the football, can't try to go for it for the one and decide to run a sweep with your tight end instead of giving the ball to your running back or I don't know, your 6'5" quarterback, have him jump over that offensive line. But again, you're without Ryan Kelly. So the Colts weren't fully healthy. Andrew Luck was under duress. The Colts managed the Colts defense managed the Jacksonville offense enough. But ultimately, what this game comes down to is how many times did you score a touchdown? None. Probably not a good day. So yeah, the Colts are very young. The Colts got caught up in a poorly officiated game that had a lot of mistakes made, a lot of ugly plays, a lot of jawing and a lot of talking, and it got into guys' heads. I will say though, T.Y. Hilton kept his head on straight. He had a guy in his ear hole every play yakking at him, and managed to make some great catches while getting bodied. And then Eric Ebron also, in my opinion, is an elite tight end in the NFL, an elite pass catcher in the NFL. We just didn't get it. We just didn't score. It's a simple thing. We score one touchdown, we win that football game. I'm way happier talking to you, right? But at this point, it just kind of confirmed what I think we already knew, and that is that the Colts are very young. This is a rebuilding year. We need this draft upcoming to help bolster this team. And next week we have the Texans, and they are no slouch. They're obviously a much better football team than the Jags, and that didn't matter today. But the Colts are going to have to try to limit DeAndre Hopkins. They're going to have to try to pressure Deshaun Watson into making mistakes, all while trying to overcome J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, Whitney Merciless. Like that Houston front is pretty good. So the Colts, while competitive and can't throw up goose eggs, man, can't not score points. Guys got to score points. Even kicked a field goal and got a gift penalty and tried to go for it from the one. They just couldn't make it happen today. Couldn't put the ball in the end zone. So this has been Jared with Stampede Blue. This is your Indianapolis Colts post-game wrap. We'll see you after the Texans game next week, okay?